the third quarter that the Grizzlies had, what was it that you were able to do to kind of, you know, decrease them from going off the way they did and kind of swing the momentum back into your guys' favor in the start of the fourth?
I think we just try to stay locked in more than anything. You know, they came out really aggressive. They came out making shots, getting to the line. Pretty much everything was going well for them. So we, you know, the good thing is we kept attacking them. You know, right back at them, and they scored a lot, but we scored a lot too. That's not the type of basketball that we want to do, that we want to play. But you know, we just gotta keep going. And I felt like in the fourth we were able to get the stops we needed.
Sarah Todd, Deseret News.
Rudy, what more can be done to guard Ja Morant and make things a little bit more difficult on him?
I mean, you know, he's a very talented player. Obviously, you know, he's very aggressive. He's great at also finding his teammates. So, you know, we know that, you know, every game is going to be a, you know, different adjustment that we're going to have to make, and you know, and try to make his life a little more difficult. And tonight, you know, I don't know how many I think he shot about 20 free throws. So we definitely gotta do a better job on that, and you know, keep trying to make, you know, his life difficult.
Next up, we will have Ryan Miller, KSL.
Speaking of Ja, could you just take us through that block that you had on him in the first half?
I just try to, you know, do what I do, protect the basket, just, you know, just pretty much play off my instinct. And, you know, I know that he's very athletic. So if I'm late, you know, it's a little harder for me. So I gotta anticipate it and try to time it, and, you know, if he makes it, you know, I just gotta be there and try to make his life difficult.
Corey Harrison, Out of Bounds.
Hey Rudy, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Doing great, man. So during the time when the offense became a little stagnant and they got back into the game, how were you able to pull away and ultimately get this win and tie the series up?
I think you know, we got a little distracted at some point in the game. You know, we kind of lost our aggressiveness. The ball kind of stopped moving a little bit, and we know we can fit it. You know, everybody can fit it. We know that when the ball stopped moving, you know, they're about to get stops and they're about to get transition too. And you know, that's the things that we don't wanna give them. You know, so we gotta keep moving the ball, stay connected, keep playing through the physicality, and getting good shots, and then we can set our defense, and it's a totally different game. And it's the same thing with offensive rebounds. You know, when we're about to get those rebounds, it's a totally different game. You know, they have a lot of physical guys that like to crash the balls, and when we're about to get them out of there, you know, it's they have to run back and guard us in transition, and it's a different story.
Sam Farnsworth, KSL TV.
Hey, Rudy, Donovan was very expressive after some of his buckets. You could tell that he was just excited to be back on the floor, had that energy. Coach Snyder called it a competitive spirit. How much does the energy of one player affect the entire team?
I mean, it's been more than a month, you know, so I think he was really antsy to get back out there, and you know, and we missed him. So it was great, you know, getting his energy, his you know, his positivity, all that, you know, his aggressiveness, and obviously his talent. You know, it was definitely you know, a good time to have him back. And tonight, you know, he definitely, you know, did a great job. I felt like I didn't feel like he was out. You know, I felt like, you know, he had the kind of game that, you know, that wasn't the first game back after months. So it just shows that, you know, he's been working. You know, he's been putting the work, and he's been ready for that moment.
Tim McMahon, ESPN.com.
Rudy, after that block you had on Ja, he said something like, "I'll be back." How much do you enjoy that challenge of a guy who is that good, that athletic, and that aggressive?
I mean, that's what it's about. You know, you can't. Sometimes I'm gonna get dunked on, and sometimes I'm going to get the block. I'm not going to stop coming and try to do what I do, and it's the same for him. Hopefully he doesn't stop coming, and I'm still going to be there every time. So it's that's just the competitive spirit, and I know Ja has that, but I have that too. So it's what it's about.
First night back in 5 weeks, your first shot, you make a three. First of all, how did that feel, and how are you feeling after tonight?
I feel good. I've put myself in kind of treacherous situations to come back and be ready for playoff intensity, and felt better than I anticipated. And just as a whole, I think the biggest thing is the team. We just did a lot of good things tonight. I think Mike had 15 assists tonight, like the man, 20 and 15. Rudy had 21 and 13. Like, we did a lot of really good things. So it made my job, easier. I didn't have to come in and just do everything. Like, I was able to just kind of find my spots and attack and just and kind of just do what I do. And my teammates made it really easy for me.
Tony Jones, The Athletic.
Donovan, can you take us through that sequence where you were talking to Dylan after that 4-point play, and just how important was it for you guys to come out and match that physicality and match that energy that Memphis, frankly gave you guys in game one?
Yeah, that's the basketball I think we all love. Tony, growing up in New York, I playing basketball, in the city, that's every day, so, it's going to be a lot of talking, a lot of stuff. And, you just kind of go out there and just be aggressive. Just try to go out there and attack. And, he got the foul, and, it is what it is, but you got to expect the same energy when we come out in game 3. You got to be ready for it. And, the biggest thing for us is just kind of, like you said, they had an intensity level in game 1 that we really didn't match. And I feel like we did it from start to finish, except for a little bit in the third quarter. We kind of let up a little bit. And that's going to be on us to adjust and understand that we can't let that happen. And like I said, they're going to be wired and geeked up for game 3. We just got to be able, like I said, to continue to play this way, because when we play this way, outside of the few mistakes we made in the third, to kind of let them come back, we're tough to beat, and I think we showed that tonight. And guys doing many different things, and like we all stepped up, but we got to continuously do it. It's just one game. We could have won by 50. We could have won by 1, but it's one game. It's a tie series. We got to go out there and take care of business.
Sarah Todd, Deseret News.
Don, early in the fourth, you took that free throw and then you checked out and went back to the locker room. It looked like you were maybe trying to work that ankle and keep it warm. Did you hit it? Did it sting it a little bit? What was going on there?
Try to keep it warm. I think that's the biggest thing. I haven't, like I haven't played in 5 weeks. So all my stuff that I've been doing, your ankle's warm. Every workout, there's always a time where you're warm. There's never a time where you're sitting and then coming back in. So it wasn't anything bad. It wasn't anything to be weary of. I feel good. We'll see how tomorrow goes. But I think the biggest thing is just trying to make sure I'm, there for my teammates and making sure my body's right, and I think I understand I go to the back all the time. I think now just all of our games are on national TV, so they caught it. But like, I go to the back just to sit there and breathe sometimes. So it's not even about just the ankle. So just know that going forward.
All right, Matthew Coles, AP.
Knowing that you weren't going to play 40 minutes tonight, how difficult was it for you to just stay within yourself and not try to do too much?
I think that just goes with me just having trust in my teammates. I think the biggest thing is understanding that I'm not going to go out there and, like you said, play 40. May not go out there and have 40, but it's not staying within myself, whether it's scoring. Tonight it was scoring. I didn't have any assists, which is killing me right now. I'm really not happy about that, but, we got the win. But just trying to find ways to impact the game. Sometimes it's just standing on the wing, finding ways to impact the game, getting the steal late, getting a charge, like any way I can impact the game in my minutes. I think is the biggest thing for me. And like I said, when you have teammates like the ones I have, man, it makes it so much easier for myself to go out there and just say, all right, these guys got it. I'm not going to go out there and say, like, kind of overrule anything. I'm going to go with the flow and continue to put my imprint on the game and as much as I can.
Eric Walden, Salt Lake Tribune.
Donovan, Quinn said that, when a guy in your situation who hasn't played in a while comes back, there's kind of a tendency to go out there and want to put their stamp on the game from the outset. You had 12 first quarter points, but he said he felt like you were really kind of playing within yourself and letting the game come to you. how difficult was it to not try to be, overly aggressive and kind of just go all out in those early minutes?
It really started with me before the game. I'm a competitor. I know myself. There are times where I got sped up. I had a moment, where I think I ran into Royce and turned it over. But understanding that you're just talking to yourself. I've never been in this position before. So this is uncharted territory. So I had to find a way to just relax myself. It's easy to go out there and try and hit a home run to start the game, but the game's not won in the first 5 minutes. You know what I mean? That was my biggest thing. And like I said, when I have the teammates I have, I trust them, being able to get off the ball and being able to trust that they'll find me, I'll find them, and they'll make the right plays. That makes my life so much easier, and understanding that. So that was really my mindset, not coming out there trying to do too much, because you run a high off adrenaline the first quarter, and then you got none less for the rest of the game. And understanding it's a marathon, not a sprint. We're just focused on game by game and quarter by quarter and possession by possession.
Ben Anderson, KSLSports.com.
Donovan, a lot of guys, when they come back from injury, talk about the fear of kind of re-hurting the ankle or knee or whatever it is. Did you have that with your ankle today? Was there some concern about it? Just, the mental aspect?
Yeah, there's definitely that. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. There's definitely a thought. You haven't been in this position in 5 weeks, and just kind of going out there, and everything you've been doing has been controlled. It's been controlled throughout the workout. So to kind of go out there in the middle of the playoffs and then go out there and try and compete, I think there's definitely a bit of nerves, and that's probably where a lot of the nerves came from. Outside of that, it's just basketball, but understanding that jumping off the foot, the way for the first time that hard in 5 weeks, landing, cutting, like those are the things that you definitely think about. But, once you get through the first two, it's like, all right, I'm good. You trust it, and that was fine.
Sam Farnsworth, KSL TV.
Donovan, obviously, Dylan Brooks scored a lot of points 23 in 28 minutes, but part of the reason why he was limited in his minutes was foul trouble early, and you were able to draw him into some of those fouls offensively when you are attacking. How often are you looking for contact to draw that contact and maybe create some of those problems for?
It's not even just with him. I think that's just the part of my game that I've tried to elevate, to get into the free throw line more. I gave him his props. I mean, he's a hell of a defender. He's really good. So you're trying to find ways to kind of get around that. It's a game plan. People game plan for me, game plan for him. It's how it works. Game plan for Ja. There's always ways to kind of go about it. Tonight he was able to get in foul trouble early, which kind of freed things up. May not be the way the next game, but just trying to find a way to game plan. Players like him who are really good on that end. And at the end of the day, like you said, he had 23 and 28 minutes. He still went out there and hoops, but understanding that, just trying to manipulate the game in any way possible, whether it's him, it's Bane, it's Ja, it's Kyle, like whatever. That's just pretty much the mindset of the playoffs. I'm just trying to find ways to manipulate the game.
Nick Friedel, ESPN.
Donovan, you knew you weren't going to play heavy minutes tonight, but you were at 26. Are you expecting that number to grow substantially going into Game 3 now?
Honestly, it's really kind of play it by ear and kind of feel. I won't come out and say, I expect to play 35. I don't know. I think the biggest thing is, like I said, how the game goes, how I'm feeling, and trusting my body. Like I said, it's not a marathon, not a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and understanding that you got to trust the process in that sense. Understanding that you can't go out there and just trying to go full bore. That's how things happen. Understanding you got to ease your way into things. And tonight was a good start, but it's 1-1. We got to continue to build upon that, and that's where my head is at.
All right, we have time for one more. Tim McMahon, ESPN.
Donovan, as a dude who's had some obviously really big games at a young age in the playoffs, what do you think of what you've seen from Ja so far this series?
Honestly, it's not surprising. He's a gamer. Like, he goes out there and competes. When called upon, he's out there doing what he needs to do. Like last game, it was kind of Dylan kind of going off early, and then he found his way in the fourth to start attacking, to be able to, like I said, manipulate the game in that sense. Tonight, he was aggressive from the jump, so kind of feeling that game out, at a young age, for him to be able to have that is definitely special. And I think that's something that I respect about him and about his game, and he doesn't quit. He embraces being down 20. I think he likes that more than anything else. I think that's something I respect, because it's just a competitive nature about him that is definitely something that worth noting. I think he had 47 tonight, and we just got to find a way to make adjustments and make it tougher on him. But when you have a guy that can go like that, it's definitely impressive, especially at how old he is, 21, 22, and he's gonna get better and better.
How much different is it when Donovan is out there? I mean, not just for the impact that he has on the whole team, but sort of that trickle down effect that he has when you guys start staggering the lineups.
Well, yeah, obviously he's a tremendous weapon for our team. Similar to how Rudy is when he rolls and just draws so much attention for a defense. He's the same way with him and with him with the ball or him without the ball. Just how much people gravitate towards him and lanes open up for other players on our team. And if he's got it going, it's really tough on teams, obviously offensively. So he's just just having him around, seeing him smile, seeing him just leading like he always has, just does so much for all the guys on the team.
Kristen Kennedy, Jazz TV.
Well, Mike, congrats on the win. First and foremost, I know this is proving to be a tough series. What is it going to take to win this series?
Well, I think for us, just we can't give up 30 points in 6 minutes. Those kind of runs that Memphis is capable of going on. They had that kind of run start the half in the third quarter, and if we can just continue to stay locked in defensively and limit those runs, I think we give ourselves a chance to be a team that can come out with this series, and just the consistency aspect of it is going to be huge.
Eric Walden, Salt Lake Tribune.
Mike, so speaking of that run, what was it that kind of changed for you guys defensively? You mentioned the need to stay locked in. What were you guys not doing during that stretch, and what did you start doing again at the beginning of the fourth that swung the momentum again?
Well, obviously, Job played unbelievable. Starting that third quarter, we had been going under the screens, kind of most of the game, and he stopped and hit, finally shot the three and made it, and we turned it over, and then they came down to score, and they started getting out in transition and getting, more of a comfortable, get into a comfort zone that they're used to being in and accustomed to being in, where they're getting out and playing fast and playing free. So I think when we can get stops, we know we can get down to the other end and create some on the offensive end. So third quarters can't happen like that against a team like Memphis who's so good at taking advantage of every mistake.
Andy Larson, Salt Lake Tribune.
Mike, your guys' pick and roll offense was really good tonight, and obviously you had 15 assists. What were you seeing in terms of the coverages that they were running, and then kind of how were you so successful on that play?
Well, really, they threw a lot of different coverages. Obviously the bigs been back a little bit. A couple of times they blitzed and trapped the ball handler. Sometimes they were just up a little bit higher, and in each read we just we went over so many times as a team. Me, Rudy, Fave, Don, all of us have just kind of locked in our mind of what we're going to see and how we're going to execute in those times, and we just did a really good job of executing all five guys on the court in those moments in the pick and roll.
All right, last question, Ben Anderson, KSLSports.com.
Mike, you played all 12 minutes in the fourth quarter. How's the hamstring holding up, and did having the week off help that?
It's holding up fine. It's holding up fine. I think having the week off helped a lot, and getting a little bit more time to recover. Obviously, we're back to playing games again, so 8 days off, kind of you get a little rusty from the basketball standpoint. But I'm glad we're able to get these 2 games out the way, and the hammies held up well, and hopefully, I don't want to have to play 12 minutes in the fourth, but I know I'm capable of doing it, and just continue to rehab and get ready for game 3.